Hey everybody, it's me, Will.
And me, Kristen.
And we are live recording a new episode of Guide to the Unknown.
That's right.
For all of your waiting peepers. Jeepers Creepers.
Love those little peepers.
Fire up those peepers. It's time to record a show.
That's right. We're going to be talking about crop circles today.
Absolutely.
Alien or man? Or something else?
But what else?
Perhaps something more sinister.
Than man or alien?
Yeah.
Bigfoot?
Demon.
a demon? Who the hell knows?
Likely demon.
Hey,
guys.
Sarah. Megan,
Hello.
Miss Sweetie, Tabitha. Hello, everybody.
Yay.
What is going on?
Hello.
Bobby,
Oh, boy.
KB, Taylor. Cool, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to get started in just a couple of minutes.
Yep.
And we really appreciate it if you would share this video
Yeah.
to get it out to as many people as possible.
Get the good word out.
Got my cookie dough ice cream waiting. Ready to talk the unknown, says Taylor.
Excellent. What brand cookie dough is it?
Nice.
Ben & Jerry's?
Nice.
Haagen-Dazs? Breyers?
Got some. I got ice cream the other night. It was vanilla ice cream with peanut butter in it.
Just peanut butter?
Just peanut butter.
Ooh. There's a name for that, I think.
Muy delicioso.
Yum.
Yeah, that's what I call it anyway.
Did you get like a pint of it at the store? Or you got it like at Dairy Deluxe or whatever?
Dairy Deluxe? Hell yeah.
You got a Dairy Deluxe?
Oh, Dairy Deluxe. Yeah, it's
Nice.
the only place to get
Ben
ice
and
cream.
Jerry's excellent. I love Ben and Jerry's.
Nice. Ben and
I've
Jerry.
never been to Dairy Deluxe.
Couple of good guys. What?
I was under the impression that it was only soft serve, and I don't like soft serve.
You are incorrect.
I'm happy to know that. I'll have to go.
There's plenty of hard ice cream.
Yeah, I prefer a harder ice cream. I heard somebody say once that they found Breyers a dry ice cream. And I think that's kind of true. It's kind of crumbly, and I like it.
Professionals say that Breyers has the best base.
Oh,
What that means,
interesting.
we may never know.
I'll have to taste test all the Breyers against all other ice creams to
Yeah,
find
exactly.
out.
And try them all out. Hey,
Fine by
Claire.
me. Hard ice cream is boring. No. Soft ice cream is mush.
Bob, you're missing out. You have no idea what you're talking about.
Ugh.
You sound like a
I feel
fool.
like soft ice cream only comes in like vanilla and chocolate, and maybe every once in a while strawberry and orange. They can do a creamsicle thing, but meh.
I do like that vanilla chocolate soft serve ice cream mix. And it squirts right out of the machine.
Yeah,
Pleasant.
a lot of people like it.
Very pleasant.
I get it.
What am I, some old man eating hard ice cream from a chat shop?
Chat shop.
Chat shop. A chat
The
shop.
hell's a chat shop?
A chat shop.
Got bored of soft serve because you eat so much of it at work. Yeah. I could see that. You get fatigue.
Megan
Coffee
says
Haagen-Dazs is so good.
coffee flavored
I
ice
totally
cream.
agree.
I'm into that.
Oh yeah. Oh
Um,
yeah.
Okay, do you want to just kind of go for it?
Yep.
Yeah. What did I want to do? Oh, I want to do give me 1 second here. Give me 1 second here. Cool. Okay. All right, everybody. I think we're gonna get started. Thank you for joining us on an irregular day at an irregular time.
Yeah, thank you.
We really appreciate it.
William has a date of friendship later
Yeah.
that he has to get to.
Exactly. You know what I got?
And I had a date of friendship yesterday.
Listen, I've got a life.
Yeah.
Sue me. Sue me.
Sue me.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Here we go. And here, clotted cream ice cream.
Am I gonna go first because you're doing
Yeah.
the? Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay. That interrupted my joke. And here we go.
You always think in
I
terms of
know.
like Joker quotes
I
on
kn-
live streams.
I do it in general, I think.
You're a sicko.
I know.
And you're wearing green
I'm
glasses.
twisted like the Joker.
There was somebody uploaded this week. It was from like Days of Our Lives or something, where the inspiration for Harley Quinn came from.
Really?
It was Arlene Sorkin, who would later go on to voice Harley Quinn, playing a jester in a
Oh.
fantasy. Like, I guess Stefano or
Weird.
some character, whatever.
You're definitely right. Stefano is on Days of Our Lives.
Thank you.
Yes.
They were like telling a story to their son,
Yeah.
and then they flash to the story as if it's really happening. So it was about like a king and their court, whatever. And Arlene Sorkin comes in dressed like, you know,
Weird.
basically dressed like Harley Quinn. She's wearing blue and red.
Huh.
And she's talking like this, puddin'. Shouldn't say puddin'.
Yeah.
But it's just Harley Quinn. And somebody
Weird.
watched the video. They were working on Batman the Animated Series and wanted to have someone to pair with the Joker.
That's so cool. I'll have to look that up.
And they basically just took that and then were like, well, she was good at it. Let's just hire her.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's awesome for everybody involved. Cool.
And then that awesome creation story leads us to a place where Birds of Prey, the fantabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn, is being advertised to me in front of it as if it's part of the movie.
Yeah. Wait, as though it's part of the movie It?
Yeah, I was really frustrated. I didn't say that on our Netherworld Dispatch.
Oh, right. They do like something. Yeah, I vaguely remember.
They faded it on the Warner Brothers logo.
Yeah.
Playing
And then
it's
like,
yeah. Record scratch.
Yeah.
I'm sick of clowns.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
she,
That's right. I forgot
hits
about that.
a bunch of balloons with a mallet.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh no.
I know.
Oh no.
I know. That name is a mouthful. Not only fantabulous, but then the emancipation of one Harley Quinn. It's a lot.
The fantabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn.
It's a lot for me to take in.
There's a lot going on there.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry.
All right.
That was neither here nor there.
Here
nor really
we
anywhere.
go. Yeah, Days of Our Lives is crazy. I watched it for like maybe a year or something because our grandma watched it and I wanted to get on her level and I really enjoyed it, but I fell off.
That's a cute reason to be
I know.
Real quick, do you have something to say about these two people?
That's my whole thing.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Good. Just making sure because I've got like, so you know where they got the idea? Mm-hmm. Then I'll stay away from that a little bit.
Well, I don't really talk about that.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I mention it, but like I didn't go into what happened. Are you talking about all the stuff in Australia?
Yeah.
Do you have stuff about that happening?
Kind of.
Then go for it because I just mention it.
There's
by
barely
name.
anything. I probably have as much as you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I literally just say the name, whatever they called it.
Okay.
Like alien nests or something.
Gotcha. Okay.
Hello, welcome to Guide to the Unknown. I'm Kristen.
And I'm her brother, William.
And today we are going to talk about crop circles.
Yeah.
Where do they come from? Who makes them?
I don't know.
We'll have to find out.
See you next time.
Yeah. Maybe you can tell us.
Yeah. Before we dive into talking about crop circles, we really want to thank everybody out there because in the past week, Kristen and I put out a couple of calls to people, and everybody really responded.
Yeah, you guys really heeded the call, so thank you.
It was awesome. Yeah, a bunch of people flocked to patreon.com/GTTUpod to back us and get access to the Netherworld Dispatch, an exclusive podcast over there. Thank you all so much for doing that.
Thank you. I hope you enjoyed it.
The response was swift and brutal.
Yes.
It was rad.
In the best possible way.
Really enthusiastic people.
Yeah.
Really, really nice. Really exciting to see. Thank you all so much for backing us. And then Kristen just the other day put out a call for people to review this podcast on Apple Podcasts to get our numbers up. And man, people just did it.
Yes, totally. Thank you so much. I went to the Apple Podcast thing to grab the link because one of my friends asked me where she can review the show. And I saw our number, was like a little not thrilled with it. And I asked our members of our private Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/GTTUpod if they had a favorable 5-star review to please leave it. And you guys did. So thank you very, very much. And I feel much more at peace with our number there now.
Yeah. Thank you so much, everybody.
Yep.
We really, really appreciate it, and thank you so much for supporting what we do over here.
Yeah, totally. I hope you guys like what we put out on the Patreon. We have that It Chapter 2 review, and then since then we also put a short little video of Will and I watching clips from Killer Clowns from Outer Space and reacting to them. And the clips are on screen, so you see them as well. It's not you just watching us. You watch the clips along with us. So I hope you guys enjoyed that.
Yeah, please do. All right, let's get right into it. Kristen, crop circles.
Wait, real quick, William. There's news from the world of aliens.
Oh, that's right.
From the land of aliens.
I forgot about this.
It's very, very swift. We just wanted to mention it as a follow-up.
But it's all over the place. The headlines have been popping up everywhere.
Yes. So we talked about Tom DeLonge's To the Stars Academy of Arts and Sciences in a couple of episodes. One of them was not super long ago. It was like over the summer. And then the other one was like the 10th episode or something of Guide to the Unknown. But there's been a slight update. It's almost like a non-update, but it's kind of worth mentioning. So a big part of the show Unidentified that is produced by To the Stars Academy about these videos that were shot by Navy pilots that seem to show UFOs in them. You know, you kind of assume, because they interview a lot of people from the Navy and even the guys who were in the planes who saw these things,
from
that
the
it
Navy.
was, yes, we can sail the skies, oh boy.
From the Navy.
Help! There's a UFO!
Somebody save me.
So you would think that's like, and it kind of is, confirmation. Like, we talked to the Navy guys, so it's legit.
Yeah.
But this week it's everywhere that a spokesperson from the Navy confirmed that those were definitely actual videos if you had any doubt about it. So he said the 3 videos, one from 2004 and 2 from 2015, show incursions into our military training ranges by unidentified aerial phenomena. And this is Joseph Gradisher, the official spokesperson for the Deputy Chief of Naval Operations for Information Warfare. And he told this to NBC News via email. He also clarified that the Navy has not released the videos to the general public. So they were kind of leaked, but he is saying they are legit. And this is from an article on the AV Club. He also confirmed that the government isn't exactly sure how the 3 videos in question made their way into public hands, as well as reiterated that any incursion...
An incursion?
I was trying to avoid... I had to swallow for the last 2 sentences. I was like, maybe I can just keep going and I can make it. Any incursion into our training ranges by any aircraft or phenomena, identified or not identified, is problematic from both a safety and a security concern.
Right.
So...
He's not happy.
These are real videos.
They're real.
He's not happy that they're out, and he's also saying what's in there is concerning.
Yes, we should be...
Yes. The Navy is concerned about what's in there.
Yeah, we're actively concerned about
Right.
what they are showing. So was this information leaked?
Yeah.
Somehow?
Yeah, I think so.
Who did the leaking?
I don't know. but,
Aliens?
I don't know, but even that, to say it's leaked makes it sound sneakier than I think it must be. Because seriously, it's not like it was leaked by anonymous. The guys who were in the planes are on the show identified on the record and in the New York Times on the record talking about their experience. So while it wasn't sanctioned by the Navy to be out, to say leaked makes it sound sneakier than it is because they've been out and being like, yeah, that's me on that tape.
Yeah, right. It's just people being like, yeah, no, I was there, I did this, here it is.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, one way or another, for this to be something that's being verified, I think one way or another, a lot of people will probably start to automatically file folks that are associated with UFO research in their heads as crackpots. Regardless of whether or not you're like, oh, they work for the Department of Defense, and now they work with Tom DeLonge from Blink-182.
But I think less so now than ever.
Oh, I completely agree with you. I'm not saying that they're right to do this. I'm saying, and I've done this too, without doubt. But I think that even when you go oh, yeah, he's got 5 degrees in...
Right.
Astrophysics and stuff, and he says that moon men have been here, you start going well, all right, crackpot.
Yeah.
But to have somebody who's not in this endeavor.
No, he's just a spokesperson for the Navy. He's not involved with To the Stars.
Say, yes, those are real. That's a confirmation on a whole other level.
Yeah.
Tom DeLonge must be overjoyed that this man made this statement.
Yes, he is. And also there's going to be a season 2 of Unidentified that just came out this week.
Yeah.
So maybe more to come.
Yeah, he was looking for it, but now here's his holiday.
He was looking for his holiday?
Yeah, he's going to celebrate now that, his passion's been confirmed.
Yeah.
I hope he enjoys this time.
I mean, he gave it all away to put together To the Stars, and now it is his.
Yeah.
Same joke.
One joke, making it take as long as possible.
Yeah.
Many permutations.
Yes.
All right. Well, there you go. I mean, what better news to have when we're going to talk about crop circles?
Perfect timing.
Have alien stuff be going on.
Right.
We're talking about crop circles because Kristen watched the movie Signs the other day.
Yep.
The M. Night Shyamalan alien classic.
Yes, I did. And I super enjoyed it.
Yeah. Do they say in that movie what the crop circles are about, or they're just sort of
You know what? If they do, I don't remember it. Maybe it's some sort of throwaway line, maybe on the news when they're watching it. But there's certainly no discussion between Joaquin Phoenix and Mel Gibson about what they are. Maybe the news says these are communications or they're maps or something. But I'm literally making that up.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I remember them being a big deal in that movie, and I also remember I really enjoyed that movie, and I watched a bunch of behind-the-scenes stuff and listened to the commentary.
Yeah.
And I know that they tried to produce their crop circles to be in, of the same quality as crop circles that have been seen around the world. So what you do is you use a rope and boards to bend the stalks at a 90-degree angle of the corn. So they really wanted to make them look authentic.
Yeah.
Having said that, I mean, even an authentic crop circle is a fake crop circle.
Totally. It's authentic for knowing that a person created it, but not that an alien did. You know what other authentic thing they did on the set of that movie? Do you know that they held a vigil for Mel Gibson's wife in the movie?
What?
Yeah. M. Night Shyamalan had the cast and crew do a candlelight vigil for that fictional character. That had to be one weird day on set.
This is where Joaquin Phoenix gets it.
I don't know.
Right?
I'm not sure.
He's an odd guy.
Yeah, but I feel he's independently odd. You know, I don't think that he met M. Night Shyamalan. He was like, ooh, I want a piece of that. I become odd now.
M. Night Shyamalan, who's noted as...
Shyamalan.
Who's noted at... He has people just call him Knight, by the way.
I do know that.
Which is very cool.
Yes, it's awesome. His first name is Minaj.
Is that right? Nicki Minaj.
It's spelled differently.
Night Shyamalan?
Yes. It's like Mona, maybe even G. I'm not sure. It's not spelled like Nicki Minaj, though. Yeah.
So M. Night Shyamalan, who is noted as being like a big fan of sort of like magical realism and thinks of himself as a prophet to some degree. Mel Gibson.
Yeah, I know. What a
noted whacktastic
ass jerk.
Asso.
Ass jerk.
Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah, that is a potent brew.
And a Culkin.
Mm-hmm. It's a lot of energy. And a little energy. Abigail Breslin.
Abigail Breslin. That's
absolutely killing it.
She's great in that movie.
She's unbelievably great, especially for how young she is. Like, people talk about Haley Joel Osment being like a real wonderkin, which is totally true. But she is so young and little and also giving a genuine performance, like not just like a little kid like saying lines. She's like really acting. She's so good.
She's got like a very famous moment that I think even made the trailer where she goes like, she wakes up Mel Gibson in the middle of the night.
Oh yeah.
It's
so good.
Outside my room, can I have a glass of water?
Yep.
And you don't have enough time to think about what she's saying. You're so caught off guard.
Yes.
Oh man, now
she
I want to watch that movie again now.
Cute too. I loved it. I had the best time watching it. Yeah.
I
understand I understand the criticism of the water alien thing, but I don't care.
No, I don't care either. The movie has earned some the benefit of disbelief.
As long as like the vibe and feel and other things of a movie are in place, like I don't really give a crap about like nitpicky stuff like that. When I don't like all of that, then the nitpicky stuff stands out to me. But like if I'm already in it and I'm loving this world and spending time there, like you can make things not make sense all day.
You know the big wacky fan theory.
Yes, about it being demons.
Yes.
Actually, somebody in our Guide to the Unknown Facebook group posted an article about that.
I actually kind of believe that.
I think it makes sense.
Personally, that's my favorite way to read the movie, and it fixes that alien's weakness is water problem for damn sure.
It definitely does, and also he likes an allegory so much, M. Night Shyamalan, that it makes sense to me that he would do that. Have this be kind of like it's all a metaphor.
Sure. Yeah. Not to mention the movie is about faith.
Yeah, totally.
Explicitly,
although
it is about a priest who has lost his faith, who is looking for a sign that things happen for a reason. A crop circle, a sign, is left in the field around his house. His kids have weird things that go on with them that like eventually help them defeat the alien at the end. It is a very holistically... It's an oddly clean premise. For it to be about faith and signs and for there to be all these magical realism things happening.
Yeah, totally.
And for it to be a priest who fights an alien. For the fan theory to be that that's really a demon and have it work that cleanly.
Yeah.
Best way to read that movie.
It makes total sense, except for I remember when it came out, a lot of people being like annoying and be like, Signs is actually, people call it a horror movie, but it's actually a movie about faith. And you're like, I know. I get it.
It's not hidden. It's not buried. Embarrassingly, I performed a monologue from Signs to try to get into performance art school.
Really? Was it Mel Gibson's thing?
It was.
Yeah.
And I would have been 17.
Uh-huh.
There was no emotional weight behind that.
So you really got it then.
Hollow. Vacant behind the eyes. Looking at adults and trying to convince them that I've got decades of trauma. My wife was killed right in front of my face. I feel nothing. Didn't work.
I sang Sheryl Crow's Strong Enough in 5th grade for some sort of variety show. So I'm no stranger to swinging big. Swing away, Chrissy. Swing away.
Hey,
swing away, Willie.
For performer kids.
Yeah.
Out of their depth.
Yeah. Right on.
Consistently. Holy moly. Hey, real quick, just to put a capper on it for those of you who don't know. So Signs in the movie, one of the big things that people dump all over. Mel Gibson's daughter puts glasses of water all over the place. And at the end of the movie, an alien kidnaps his son and tries to push some like aerosol spray into his face.
Yeah.
But he's thankfully in the midst of having an asthma attack, so he's not breathing.
Right.
And then it turns out that the alien's weakness is water, allowing Joaquin Phoenix to swing a baseball bat to splash it with water and get rid of it. So people make fun of the movie.
Yeah.
The popular fan theory that we referenced but didn't really explain is that those aliens are actually demons, that his daughter is a prophet, and because it's in his house, this former priest, Mel Gibson, all the water left all over the place is not just water, it is holy water.
Right.
And so the alien is essentially being splashed with something that would destroy a demon.
Yeah.
And so that's what saves them in the end.
Yeah.
And that God was helping them all along. And, regardless of your feelings about religion overall, a specific religion, it's a fine read for that film.
Yeah, it totally is.
I really enjoy that.
Yeah, I do too.
But I do also want to say, I was going to save this for later, but I did, in my research about crop circles and where they come from and stuff, try to look up pop culture, like times that they were used and stuff. And so, talking about signs, there's another movie that did a very similar thing to the events of Signs.
Okay.
That I do want to read to you.
Sure.
Jenny McCarthy and Pamela Anderson,
of course,
at the beginning of this movie, this famous film, talk about what one of them believes.
See if you can guess the famous film.
Might be a sex tape, but Pamela Anderson calls it a cursed tape. After several odd occurrences and an almost atomic wedgie, they both die.
Wait, where's the crop circle in there?
Oh, sorry, I forgot to get there. Here it is. I didn't have to read that part.
Just wanted to.
Meanwhile, in a farm outside Washington, D.C., widowed farmer Charlie Sheen and his clumsy brother George discover a crop circle which says, "Attack here," with an arrow pointing to their farmhouse.
Very good.
After noticing the dog's strange activities, such as driving a tractor or getting stoned.
Driving a tractor.
That movie, Scary Movie 3.
If you can believe it.
One of the most famous depictions of crop circles in pop culture that I
Yep.
could find. All right, anyway, let's get to some real information.
Amazing.
We've talked about movies and stuff long enough. Let's get
I
to
love
the
to
topic
talk
at
about
hand.
movies and stuff.
So from the Wikipedia for crop circles, this is a wonderful quote that is like right at the top of the page. All crop circles are consistent with human causation.
Yeah.
All
Just
of
so
them.
we're all clear.
I read a bunch of stuff where they're like, "Oh, this couldn't have been made by human hands." Spoiler alert, as we'll
They
find
definitely
out
are.
in bigger detail with Kristen's topic, part of the topic.
Yeah.
They were all made by human hands.
Yeah, if not human feet.
Not human feet. So here's why some of this stuff took off in big, crazy ways.
Yeah.
Formations found in crop fields are usually formed overnight. They suddenly appear, which I think is part of the big reason why they attracted so much attention
Yeah.
and had so many people theorizing as to where the hell did this come from, because it's not as if you see a work in progress.
Right.
It's you go to bed
And
you
then
wake up in the
boom.
morning, there it is, a gigantic crop circle where all the stalks have been perfectly bent over, uniform, creating some sort of a geometric pattern, typically circles, spirals. What the hell does it mean?
Right.
Here's some early examples of crop circles. First of all, this is not the only kind of formation that appears in nature that makes people think that there's some sort of a paranormal event happening. I think we've discussed this on the show before, but I basically read it and was like, oh my God, like I forgot that this existed at all. Fairy rings.
Oh, yeah. What is that?
Fairy rings. So essentially, there's a kind of fungus that can cause
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
like circular areas of crops to die, and leaving in that place, there will just be a big, like perfect circle of mushrooms.
Right.
And so fairy rings are said to be like places where like
So cool.
imps and pixies and fairies live and stuff. And again, honestly, it's just kind of weird to see like a perfect circle
Yeah.
appear anywhere
Yes.
in nature that's not like a tree
Totally.
or a planet or something.
But if you think about it, it makes sense kind of because of those things. Like there are so many perfect circles in nature
Yeah.
that it seems just be a shape that things kind of move in and grow in for whatever reason. And I guess
Yeah.
that could even be in the negative, you know?
True. I found out that there was a pamphlet in 1678, Kristen, called The Mowing-Devil, or Strange News Out of Hertfordshire.
Oh, cool.
Right?
Sweet pamphlet.
Yeah, it's basically, it's weird to call it a pamphlet. Like, my modern interpretation of this would be like, as if you distributed one article of a newspaper.
Right.
You know, it's one story. It's not
Yeah.
like it's part of a paper, but
Yeah.
I do like that
You
this
read it
was...
with dinner.
Yeah, you could, read it with dinner. I do like that it was trying to just, like, spread information of
Yeah.
something that happened to somebody. The pamphlet tells of a farmer in Hertfordshire who, refusing to pay the price demanded by a laborer to mow his field, swore he would rather the devil mowed it instead. I wouldn't pay you. I'd rather the devil mow my yard.
That's like Mrs. Leeds being like, let my next child be a devil.
Yeah,
like, why are
would
you saying
welcome
this?
that? Why
yeah.
are you welcoming
You're
that?
inviting it.
Yeah. According to the pamphlet, that night his field appeared to be in flame. The next morning, the field was found to be perfectly mowed, that no mortal man was able to do the like. This pamphlet and the accompanying illustration is often cited by crop circle researchers as among the first recorded cases of crop circles.
Cool.
Crop circle researcher Jim Schnabel does not consider it to be a historical precedent because it describes the stalks as being cut, while modern crop circles involve the corn being bent.
Yeah. That's different.
That is different. But it's like marginally different. If the idea
Right. It's still, the shape is still there and it's in corn.
Yeah.
So.
Like, couldn't it be that, like, just like the methodology for
Yeah.
getting it done has changed over the years?
Not
It's a
according
story-
to Julian Schnabel or whatever.
I guess so.
Yeah.
It's a story about a remarkable instantaneous transformation of your plants or whatever. Like, I feel like that...
It does seem like splitting hairs a little bit.
A little bit. There's a 1948 story, a German story, called Die Zwölfschwein. It means the 12 swans. A farmer every morning found a circular ring of flattened grain on his field. After several attempts to figure out what happened, his son saw 12 princesses disguised as swans who took off their disguises
How did he know? Oh, okay.
and danced in the field. Crop rings produced by fungi may have inspired such tales, since folklore holds these rings are created by dancing wolves or fairies. So essentially the idea, same as the fairy rings.
Yeah.
So essentially the idea there is that, like, rather than it being aliens that caused crop circles,
Yeah.
people dancing around in the corn.
Uh-huh.
They're having some sort of a corn party.
Yeah.
Corn
Cool.
partiers. And then we get to the 20th century. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and ask this now.
Sure.
If you had to guess, and maybe you already know because you also did your own research on this,
Uh-huh.
when would you have said crop circles came into, like, popular public consciousness?
I think I would have guessed like the 1800s, like in a spotty way.
Yeah.
Not like a ton, but I would think that.
Yeah, I think I probably would have said somewhere about the same.
Uh-huh.
I think I probably would have thought that it was probably early American settlers. For
Yes.
some reason, I thought of crop circles as being distinctly American.
Uh-huh. I did too. I guess
Spoiler
because
alert,
of
they're not.
No, I guess because of all the cornfields in America. I guess they're everywhere, but we think of them
I guess.
in like Kansas and stuff because it's where we live.
Yeah, I guess. And
But
that's
yeah,
the
I was
way that
surprised
we've
by
seen
that.
them depicted on TV and in
Yeah.
film and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but no,
totally.
they primarily seem to hail from, like, England.
Right.
And then they eventually spread further and further and further.
You
It's
forget there's freaky stuff in England. Stonehenge.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah. Well, Stonehenge is a very interesting thing to bring up in the context of crop circles as well, because Stonehenge is another kind of formation,
Yeah.
in a way that a lot of people claim could not have been done by
Right.
humans at all. And then I also, in my research, found out about something else called crop marks.
Oh, okay. What's that?
Not crop circles, crop marks. These are essentially, you think about crop circles as being something that crops up overnight, that appears all of a sudden, that looks like it is being made by some entity
Yeah.
to communicate or mark something. Crop marks are similar. They are patterns that can appear in grass, fields, farmlands, and they also tend to appear in geometrical shapes. They might show up as rectangles or lines.
Okay.
But instead of crop circles where the crops are completely bent or obliterated, in crop marks, it's that the stuff you're growing grows to different heights.
Oh.
So all of a sudden there might be a square,
Yeah.
an exact square of land where everything is taller,
What's going on with that?
or an exact circle of land where everything is lower.
How does that happen?
It happens because of structures hidden underground.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes. So it is super duper common. You will basically be able to see them in the exact same spot year after year.
Cool.
Unlike crop circles.
Yeah, perennial crop marks.
And famously, in 2009, there were a bunch of underground structures found near Stonehenge through spotting the crop marks.
What were the structures?
I don't
like,
know.
what was the deal?
I remember
Weird.
we talked about that at some point, that there was like something found underground. Like there was like tunnels or statuary or something like that found.
We should do Stonehenge. I know like nothing about it.
Same. Yeah. Every time that I like do research and then it brings me to another thing that could be its own topic, I back off.
Yeah.
Oh
no, I think you should. That's
yeah.
what I do too.
Yeah. But yeah, like this is like a thing that commonly happens and
Yeah.
is like just as fascinating. Like you might essentially find like what were the remnants of an older civilization or old structures, houses,
Right.
barns, whatever, hidden under a field because it's been demolished and then a bunch of stuff grew over it. But the crops don't grow very well
Right.
on top of, what used to be, stone walls and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
That is so cool.
Crop marks. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Now, in the 20th century, the crop circle thing started to really take off. A lot of people thought maybe they were caused by meteors, and that maybe some of these patterns and things like that, spiral flattening, was possibly caused by air currents from the impact of meteors, quote, since they led toward the crater, which is weird to me because I would think that, like, I don't know if it's almost maybe like a mistranslation or a misread or a
I don't even
miswrite.
understand, to tell you the truth.
I think the way that I read it is saying that like everything got flattened by air currents from a meteor hitting would mean that there was like a blast and then everything gets flattened.
Yeah.
But then this quote says they thought that it was because of air currents because they led toward the crater. But I would think that like if something lands, slams into the earth, it sends a ripple outward.
Right.
So they should be bent away from but that's not what this says. But I don't know if that's right or if I'm just not smart enough to understand.
Maybe there's something about force that we're not understanding here, like some sort of reciprocal force or something.
Right. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. After the shockwave out, does something suck it in and then bend all the corn in?
Maybe. I don't
know. Other circular formations in swamp feeds. Swamp feeds? What the hell? Swamp fields?
Swamp feed.
Swamp feeds.
Yeah.
But I wrote that. Were said by officials to be artificial, but they couldn't say who made them or how or what the hell was going on. So let's get to this.
What a weird time to be seeing stuff just being like, we're at a loss.
We don't know what it is.
Yeah.
We can verify that it's real because we're looking at it and we're staring at it and we're right here.
Right. There's so few things that we feel that way about now.
We don't know what
Actually, the UFOs are like one of the few things that we don't know what's up.
We just don't know what's going on. We can confirm. Yeah. That guy from the Navy. We can confirm that those photographs are real.
Yeah, but we don't know what they are.
I have no idea what that is.
There aren't many things like that anymore, you know?
Exactly. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing, but I do believe they're breaking the law. I'm serious.
Yeah.
Article 1002.
All right, Mr. Ackroyd.
Here's a pretty big deal.
Okay.
You're going to have a little bit more about this later. 1966 brings about the Tully saucer nest.
Yeah, love that name.
Famous case of a crop circle. In Australia, a farmer claimed to have seen a UFO take off. He said that it was about 30 to like 40 feet wide, leaving in its stead a gigantic crop circle. All the crops were flattened where this giant UFO had taken off. Local police, Air Force, and people from the University of Queensland concluded that it was most likely caused by natural causes, such as a drought or a willy-nilly.
I'm sorry?
Oh, I'm sorry. Should I explain?
Please.
A willy-nilly is a dust devil.
Oh. I'm sorry?
I believe that's a dust tornado.
Okay.
Yeah. A willy-nilly.
Explaining that with dust devil is like not very helpful.
Defined with another unhelpful term.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what they call me when I'm walking around like Pigpen with a cloud of stink
willy-nilly.
And spinning around, leaving some willy-nillys. Now, here's the shocking thing. You said that you thought that maybe these would have harkened back to like the 1800s or something like that. I definitely would have thought that they would have gone way back.
Yeah.
No, they didn't really become a popular, known thing until the 1980s. The Oxford English Dictionary says the first usage of the term was in a 1988 issue of the Journal of Meteorology.
Yeah.
And even in that, they were referring to a movie, like a BBC movie or something that was covering crop circles. But it's like, talking about crop circles only goes back to like the 80s?
I know. I'm very surprised by that. I figured that it was one of those things where there are like references to it in all these old texts.
1,000%.
With it being unexplained. You know?
I mean, I did look up, because I guess here's what it is. Like, you and I were born in the 80s. So in a certain sense, we grew up in a world where people were just starting to pay attention to crop circles.
Yeah.
So I thought
so for us, they have always existed.
Yes.
Right.
So for us, I think I just always assumed that, like, this is a thing that people have been talking about forever.
Yes, definitely.
But not really. I mean, kind of.
Yeah.
But not really. You know, that farmer guy in Australia, the Tully saucer nest, which, by the way, what a great name for a thing.
I know. I love it.
A nest for a saucer.
Yes.
It's so evocative.
It definitely is.
Weird.
Yes.
You know? But, what?
And weird, you know?
Time to get...
So evocative and weird, you know?
But, like, you know, so that's the 60s.
Yeah.
But even that's not that long ago.
No.
It's crazy.
It really is.
So I'm also aware of certain, like, sort of, I guess, like, drawings that take place on landscape or countryside. Are you familiar with the Nazca lines?
No.
This would probably also be something.
Are they like ley lines?
No.
Okay.
I mean, ley lines aren't they just sort of like what people think are like energies around?
Yes. I've tried to do ley lines as a subject like 4 times, and it breaks my brain every time I try to do it. I can't do it.
Yeah. No, the Nazca lines, you can Google them and look at them.
Yeah.
They are essentially, they're in Peru. And so they are carved on the ground. You can see them from the sky.
Oh.
And they are drawings in the shape of spiders. People.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, they're almost the idea of like if constellations that you see in the sky, rather than just being the pinpoints that you have to connect the stars to see the actual shape.
Right.
If you could just like see the shape of Ursa Minor.
With the lines.
Yeah. They're a drawing on the ground of a big spider and stuff, and
That's
huge.
really cool.
And so like there are some theories that they were for like fertility, for creating some sort of a calendar, for communicating with God.
These sound very cool.
Yeah. We should definitely look into this.
Yeah.
They were shown in Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Okay,
and
I don't
used
remember.
to little effect. They sort of like reference a trajectory based on where the Nazca lines are. But like, point being, those are super duper old. Those are like hundreds of years old at least. I don't know. But so I guess I thought crop circles were a similar dealio.
Yeah.
That they were just like super duper ancient.
Right.
And yeah.
Weird.
To date, approximately 10,000 crop circles have been reported internationally. Again, they sort of started around England, and then they've spread all over the place.
Yeah, they got real hot.
Real hot. And weirdly, the first film, and this is basically what I'm going to leave you on about like the origin of crop circles. The first film to depict geometric crop circles was the movie Phase 4 in 1974. This is a movie where not aliens, but super intelligent ants
Okay.
who have suddenly evolved to become like, you know, geniuses.
Is this a horror movie or what's the deal?
Yeah, it's definitely a horror.
Like a schlocky like B movie?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Well, an A movie, Ant.
An A movie. Yeah, absolutely. Give it an A. They crawl around underground and basically create geometric shapes underground of crop circles and stuff.
Huh.
I read the full plot. I kind of would like to see it because it seems wacky.
Yeah.
There's a moment where they're like, my God, these ants are intelligent. They're brilliant. So they try to communicate with the ants through mathematics.
Uh-huh.
And then at one point, spoiler alert for the movie Phase 4.
Is anybody notable in it?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
A man ends up underground.
Okay.
He's been dragged down into the ant colony.
So are these more like crop marks?
Yeah.
Because the ants aren't going up above and...
But they're doing stuff. They're like making shapes and stuff.
Right, but the crop marks are created by underground stuff, right? And these ants are underground?
Oh, I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess technically.
Uh-huh.
But so the movie ends with the main guy being dragged down into the colony, and he wants to find and kill the ant queen.
Uh-huh.
And then he finds out the ants aren't really killing people. The ants are trying to fold humans into their ant society. And they're just essentially above us on the food chain now.
Uh-huh.
The movie ends with the main character going like, oh, I see. They'll leave me alone if I just live in their world now.
What?
I will await further instructions.
So he's just going to live underground with the ants?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
They're in charge now. They're the bosses now. They say live underground, you live underground.
I wonder if we're to think that means all of humanity is going to end up underground with him, or if this one guy's just like, well, I submit, and giving up.
I think that he's our like viewpoint into like what's going to happen to everybody.
That's what I'm saying. If we're supposed to think that this is our ant-apocalypse.
Yeah. Ants only do what they do because humans are in charge and we make them do it.
Oh.
So,
what?
That's just my theory.
Of real ants?
Yeah, of real life. The entire world is the way it is because humans are in charge and we say seals
bend
you
everybody
swim in
else
the water.
to our will. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Lions, Pride Lands, sing some songs.
Makes sense.
And then when ants are in charge, they want us all to live underground, so you do it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's pretty cut and dry.
Yeah. A super smart ant says dig, how low?
Absolutely. Well, I have another theory about what creates crop circles.
Huh.
The real story is my
God.
theory. Anyway.
Oops.
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 So, with crop circles
Yeah.
becoming a thing that's reported on because it's a weird thing, like it started to become sort of a cottage industry. There started to be experts giving talks about them, writing books and stuff like that. And because of that, the people who actually kind of created the crop circle phenomenon decided that they wanted to tell the truth because it was becoming this whole thing that was completely getting away from them at this point, and they wanted to set the record straight. So in 1991, these two guys in their 60s held a press conference in England to tell everybody that they had been making crop circles for 13 years since 1976.
Oh.
And to prove it, they made the crop circles in front of them so they could
Oh.
see their method and everything.
Cool.
So there were members of press from around the world, and it was primarily reported on by a British newspaper called Today, and you can find a Los Angeles Times article about it that we will link to in the show notes. So the two guys who basically created the crop circle as we know it are named Doug Bauer and Dave Chorley.
Dave Chorley.
I know. They seem awesome. This is a great story. So the deal is that Bauer had lived in Australia for a period of time, and he heard about the story of those Tully saucer nests, which were made not in cornfields but in sugarcane fields, but basically the same sort of deal. And those were later attributed to whirlwinds touching down briefly. So essentially,
Willy-nillys.
Yeah, I guess willy-nillys. Yes, yeah. So those, and he and Chorley were friends who hung out every week. They had a standing hangout date at a pub locally, and they became friends and bonded over their love of art. They were both watercolor artists. So they were hanging out, drinking at the pub, and Bauer told Chorley about this whole thing while they were sitting outside drinking, and they happened to be looking out over like a huge cornfield. And while he's telling the story and they're looking at the field, they decide to have a bit of a laugh and create some crop circles themselves. So they went over to Bauer's art shop that he owned to grab an iron bar that he used to prop close the door there somehow. Oh. They took that. They're like a couple of beers deep or whatever, and they go out to this cornfield and just start using the bar to like iron out basically a crop circle.
Wow.
So that was the first one that they ever did. And they enjoyed it and got a kick out of it. They get to hang out together. They're both artists. They're doing this weird, fun thing. And so they decided to keep doing it. And they mostly did it in that area of Warminster, which is where they held the press conference, because it's kind of a known hotspot, or was at the time, for like paranormal phenomenon, because there were people in that area who said they saw mysterious lights in the sky, kind of like a classic sort of thing. So they're like, let's do it here, because people are going to be more likely to believe this is an alien thing because weird things happen here.
It is interesting to think that this did get associated with specifically aliens.
Yeah.
Like if they had picked a different area that was known for supposedly having ghosts, would we associate crop circles with ghosts?
Maybe, except for the alien thing was already established with the Tully saucer nest.
Oh, true. Yeah. You're right about that.
So
maybe
not, but this is definitely what blew it up because they started doing it in areas where like lots of people could see them.
It's funny that reminded me of something that I did not say, which is that most crop circles, I mean almost all crop circles are not just located in random spots all over the place. They're located in places where there's like a dense population,
right?
Or they're near roads,
right?
Or like they're in a town that's going to end up getting maybe some sort of a tourist influx, something like that. So the strong
they get a lot of eyes on them.
Yeah, or they're sometimes they're near stuff like Stonehenge, and so I guess maybe some people who want to believe, ufologists who really want to believe, might say that this is aliens marking these locations because that's where people are.
Yeah.
But the implication is clear. It's people who are doing it. That's why it's near where people are.
Yeah. Or that they want to get attention for it.
Right.
Because so they did it for 2 years here and there with almost no attention or fanfare.
Wow.
And they were starting to get frustrated because they're like, look, we're doing this for our own fun, but we also want people to notice it.
Yeah.
And we're like in our 60s. We're a little tired. Like it's like kind of arduous work. And so they were going to quit, but then they decided to kind of like upgrade their method. Oh, well, they did this first. I think they upgraded their method earlier in the 2 years. I kind of wrote it backwards. But so they started out with that iron pipe or whatever, but they upgraded to what you mentioned, which were 5-foot wood planks. So just a flat wood plank that they attached a string to so that they could step on the plank but hold the string in their hands. They wouldn't have to bend over to do anything, and they could just walk on top of the plank, guiding it with the string, and just walk in these patterns to flatten it out.
That's great.
They also developed this thing that's really hard to explain. I don't even, totally. I mean, I get it and what it does, but I can't explain how it works. They attached these wire things to their hats. So it'd be a wire that came out straight perpendicular from their forehead, came down to a little hook with a circle in it, and they would look through that little circle and have that straight wire in their vision too, so they could create straight lines.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they have that little thing attached to a hat and be walking on this plank and create these things that people thought were like made by aliens.
Good thing nobody ever spotted them doing this, or otherwise, like,
look bonkers.
Story would have been the guys with the weird hats walking around on boards at night.
Totally. But it's so sweet.
It's
this
so
like
sweet.
couple of guy friends who just like that had to be the biggest bonding experience ever. It's something they love being together. They're both artists.
Yeah.
They have this idea. They both enjoy it so much that like something that's so time consuming, kind of physically demanding,
Sure.
they have to do in the middle of the night. They're still all about it for years.
Yeah.
So they're doing this for 2 years, and they are starting to be a little bit less about it because they're not spring chickens, and it's not getting attention. They're just kind of like, maybe we should hang it up. But then Bauer realized that they needed to do it somewhere where there was a viewpoint, somewhere that was...
Took them 2 years. Think of that.
They were at the pub having pints before they did this. I don't know if they were totally strategizing it in the most clear-headed way.
It's just funny. If nobody had ever noticed, this would just be like how many people are out there, do you think, doing something
I thought the same
about?
thing,
Which
I love thinking about.
And it's got no attention.
It's like the idea that anywhere you are, there could be, I mean, not quite as cool, but there could be like a geocache around you that you're just not aware, and that there are people who are like so excited to find that thing, and you're just like going about your business, hoping your dog takes a dump soon,
Yeah, exactly. There could be somebody right now like clomping around in the woods around Rutgers dressed like a big duck. Yeah. And he's been doing it for 5 years, and just no one has seen him. But he just keeps doing it.
If I ever saw him, I don't know what I would do. That would freak me right out.
Duck man.
Because I go to the woods around Rutgers like all the time.
Yeah,
if I ever happened upon, I remember when that like the whole clown thing was happening a couple of years ago. I was definitely, because I was like, that seems like some stuff like a Rutgers student would do or whatever. So I was definitely heightened a little bit, being like, am I just going to walk into a clearing and there's a clown there? What is going to happen? So Bauer is like, we need to build it or like do this somewhere where there's like a lookout point where people can definitely see it. So they found a spot near a tourist locale, made an 80-foot wide crop circle, and the next day it was national news. So they must have been like, yes, we got it, baby. So awesome. So they were thrilled with all the speculation once it came. They loved hearing people's theories about it and everything. And not unlike serial killers who will like return to the scene of the crime when like the cops are there and the police tape is there and be like, oh, what happened or whatever.
What's the matter? Something bad happened?
I can't imagine.
Hey, are you guys here because something good happened or something bad happened?
So
My name, John Q. Citizen.
don't worry about it.
I didn't see nothing.
Regard me as invisible.
Officer, could you write down that I've never been here before?
They, not unlike that, inserted themselves into it. They would approach experts, like, oh, and also the name for crop circle experts is a serologist.
Oh.
So they pursued serologists and told them, like, hey, we're a couple of like wildlife enthusiasts, so we're out in the area a lot, so like we can tell you if some crop circles pop up in this area.
Oh.
Then they would create a crop circle, go back to the expert and be like, we found one.
That's like Peter Parker, Spider-Man. He works for the Daily Bugle. His job is taking photos of Spider-Man.
Yeah, you're right. Oh yeah, that is like Peter Parker.
Yeah. Hey, we're two wild and crazy guys.
Yeah.
Do you have any American women?
They also paid attention to not just the serologists and people who believed that it was like aliens or whatever. They also paid attention to the scientists who were working to debunk the serologists and messed with them.
Oh, excellent.
So when meteorologists were reasoning that the crop circles were made by like downward spiraling winds or whatever, and that's why they're round, they started making them like sharp geometric shapes to disprove the meteorologists and make them be like, well, now I don't know.
That's excellent.
And like pit them against each other. It's the best story. So they're having the time of their lives, but Bauer's wife, this is crazy to me. He didn't tell his wife for 9 years into this. This would not fly.
9 years?
This behavior would not fly in the Rogers Anderson household.
Where have you been going with Chorley every night?
Yeah, exactly. I would have a lot of questions.
Coming home exhausted and covered in dirt?
We've talked about this before when like there's somebody who doesn't know something and they just let it go. Like
Yeah.
I could never let something like this go. It would not last 9 years.
Have you been killing people?
Yeah, they come home. There's another account from a family member who's like, I'll get to it. He's like, he came home at like 4:00 every Friday night, so it actually added up. And I was like, what did you think was happening then?
You never asked?
Okay, so
9 years is a long time.
a long time. So in 1985, Bauer's wife confronted him because she noticed that the car's odometer was way higher than it should be for him just driving to and from the pub to hang out with Chorley. And so he spilled the beans and told her this, but she didn't buy it, which makes total sense. I feel like you can like see all this, be like, oh yeah, sure, you're making crop circles is what you're up to.
Why would anyone buy it?
Of course. So he said to her, draw out a design. There will be a crop circle that's of that design, and now you'll know I'm telling you the truth. So that happened, and then she believed it, obviously. Isn't that the best?
That is amazing.
I got another thing for you. Old Chorley was up to something funny, too.
Chorley, what was he doing?
So Chorley's son, Jim, had an interview with the BBC this month on September 7th to talk about, I know, so weird, to talk about his dad. And he said that it was nuts when he found out that his dad did it, because it's just like, not really something it seemed like his dad would do. It's just like, it didn't even occur to him. But when you line up all the facts, that it made sense. He said that he knew that he went to the pub every Friday night with Bauer and that he wouldn't come home until 4 or 5 in the morning. And you generally found out that there was a new crop circle on Saturdays. So it was like, okay, he is gone.
Noticed that it was every Saturday?
I know. I thought the same thing. I was like, nobody added this up, but whatever. Listen to this. So that adds up. That tracks. And also, when he would come home, he would put an ear of corn on the table. What?
Whoa.
Why was he messing with his family in this way?
He is a serial killer.
Yes.
He's a serial killer without the murder.
Yes, they were getting their jollies from the mystery of this big time.
Yeah.
So he didn't tell his son, but he's coming home and laying a corn cob on the table every Friday night and just seeing what everybody says.
What that's about.
Isn't that crazy?
They were trying to get their jollies, Kristen.
Yeah.
And they got them.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I had a theory the other day. So I watched season 2 of Mindhunter, And, like in that show, they categorize serial killers and try to learn about them and stuff.
Yeah.
And a big thing that they get into on the show is a big thing that's about serial killers, whatever, that there are two different kinds.
Your finger's on my face.
And disorganized.
Yeah.
I think that is a categorization system that can be applied not only to serial killers, but to all human beings. Are you organized? Are you disorganized? Honestly,
I don't know.
The things I do are laid out perfectly and measured, or you're me. And it's, you look at my desk or my shoes, or my manner.
Yeah, but that's still,
my general manner. Of
yes, of course. Yeah, but that still doesn't apply to all parts of you. Like, there are ways in which you are organized.
Well, but does it apply to all parts of a serial killer? Everything they do is disorganized?
I don't know.
I think it boils down to, are you able to override your base need for enjoyment to think things through?
Yeah.
Or are you driven by your id? That's, you know what I mean?
I think
for these two guys who had a methodical process that they were doing, that they saw out every week for 9 years or however long they did it.
Yeah,
they were organized.
15
they
years.
fit some patterns that I otherwise have seen talked about in the serial killer world.
Yeah, I mean that's not untrue.
And even bringing home an ear of corn, Chorley, is like having some sort of
it's like a trophy,
souvenir. Yeah. A totem.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Blew my mind, that part.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's so awesome.
I love the idea of Bowers saying to his wife, make a pattern, there will be a crop circle in that pattern, consistent with the other crop circles.
I want a movie about these guys.
Yes. She should have made a thing that just in crop circles said, I am Ben Bowers, or whatever his name is.
Doug.
I am Doug Bowers.
Just give up the ghost.
Make that chump. What have you been doing with Chorley?
Have fun with that.
What have you been up to?
So his son said that they saw it as folk art, as a folk art form, and it was the biggest canvas that they could possibly ever use, which is kind of true. It was definitely more than that, but they were artists, and so it just all kind of fits perfectly. So back to the press conference.
They're like Banksy.
They are like Banksy, and Banksy is also British.
This is all adding up.
Yeah.
Banksy Bauer.
Is Banksy? Wait. Never mind.
What were you going to say? What was the abandoned joke? I saw the light leave your eyes.
Because I didn't even know how it was going to add up. And it's like not even funny that like when we found out Banksy's real name, because it's out there, that his real name is Bauer Chorley. Doesn't
make sense.
No.
His name is Bauer Chorley. It all makes sense. His first name is the last name of one of the guys, and his last name is
the other last name of one of the guys. You see where the light went out behind my eyes.
We should have known, yeah.
Very quickly scanned. Good joke. Is it good joke? Nope. Drop.
Nope. Moving on.
Moving on.
Bauer Chorley.
So back to the press conference that they held in 1991 to reveal to the world
their grand plan.
Exactly. So they did it in front of the press to show them the deal, and the newspaper in Britain, I think it was called Today, then contacted one of the bigwig serologists who was giving lots of speeches, writing books and everything, whose name is Patrick Delgado. And they showed him the circles, and at first he said, no human being could have done this. These crops are laid down in these sensational patterns by an energy that remains unexplained and is of a high level of intelligence. But then the paper introduced the men to Delgado, who admitted, we have been conned. This is a dirty trick. Thousands of lives are going to be wrecked by this.
What? Why?
Because there are people who made their livelihood as serologists who, like, their job was writing books, going on, like, the tour circuit to talk about this.
Oh, no. I made a bunch of money off of the two things these two artists did.
I mean, to be fair, that is a world rocker. If your literal job and livelihood is that you're a serologist and you just found out that, like, everything you based it on is not true and, like, your job just disappeared, I can see being like, oh, my God.
Yes.
My life is ruined.
Serologist just got fired.
Yes, totally.
But they had an opportunity to do something I'm sad that they did not do.
What?
They were presented with the crop circles, and they said no human being could have done this. Then they were shown Bauer and Chorley.
Mm-hmm.
They're not human.
Chorley.
These men are not human.
Ooh,
Start
yeah.
freaking out.
What
and
a
then
disappointment.
You convince the government to like vivisect Bauer and Chorley.
Yeah, they'd be part of that bodies exhibit.
Uh-huh.
Unethically harvested human beings.
I'll keep my job, thank you.
Well, he did.
See you in hell, Bauer and Chorley.
Yeah. He did keep his job because while in that big reveal, he was like, thousands of lives have been wrecked by this. This is terrible. He later reneged and said that they may have done those,
Yeah, exactly.
but he didn't do all of them.
Right. That's the other option, is that,
Yes.
well, yes, some of them were Bauer and Chorley, but there was this one that has to be real because I'm hungry.
I need food.
Yeah.
Delgado was quoted by the New York Times as derisively saying, yesterday there were circles discovered on a prairie in Canada. Have these guys been out there with their board?
Yeah, no
All
one
right.
else figured it out.
All right, Delgado.
No one else figured out how to make the crop circles that Bauer and Chorley have been making for a decade or more.
Right, because obviously, yes, they did not make all the crop circles because they're a worldwide phenomenon. There were people who were inspired by that
Yeah.
and made them as well. People.
Yeah.
Yes. So Bauer responded to this in 1999 because I guess like every once in a while news outlets would come to them to talk about it again or whatever.
Right.
So in 99 he said, "These so-called researchers, they connected our circles with burial mounds and ancient hill forts. There's no connection at all. It's just that the field was good as far as we were concerned to have a bit of a laugh." So so aliens obviously didn't make those circles, but that doesn't necessarily mean that at least Bowers didn't believe in aliens. He said, "It's obvious that in all those millions of planets we saw out there in the night sky, there must be people out there."
Okay.
So at least Bowers seemed to believe in aliens. There wasn't a quote from Chorley about it, but
Yeah.
you'd imagine that if he's saying, because he's talking about him and Chorley, he's saying in all those millions of planets that we saw out there in the night sky together,
Well,
that
it's
there
really-
must be something.
It's really...
And so you can imagine them talking about it, be like, do you think that
Absolutely.
anybody is actually out there while they're like banging out these circles? It's
Can
the
we go
sweetest
inside?
story.
I think I have to stop making the crop circle and go inside. Get kind of freaked out, Chorley.
Let's pop back to the pub.
Yeah. For a pint.
Yeah.
Did they go to the pub at all? This must have taken a while.
I think they would go to the pub and then go do a circle.
Did go do a circle?
I'm pretty sure.
I do. There's something very charming and kind of lovely about these two friends out
Yeah.
in the middle of a field, working on their next sort of like installation, being like, this one's really gonna blow them away.
Yeah.
Like looking up in the sky and looking at the stars and stuff, and talking about people on other planets.
Yeah, it's
That's
very
really
sweet.
It's really really sweet and very like oddly like peaceful.
Totally.
I like that image a lot.
I do too. And that sweetness kind of endures today. I'm going to leave you with this from Jim's son, who did that interview just this month with the BBC. It's the guy who said that he left the ear of corn on
Yeah.
there. Or excuse me,
Are
not
they-
Jim's son. Jim, his son's name is Jim.
Okay, are they still with us, Chorley
No.
and Bauer? Okay.
I don't think so. Definitely Chorley isn't, because Jim was talking about it in the past tense.
Yeah.
If they were in their 60s in 91, probably not. But
Why?
in 91, in
could
their
be-
60s?
Yeah, you can live to be in your 90s.
Yeah, but like, likely not.
I guess, yeah, was the age
I wasn't being like,
expectancy.
probably not, but
Yeah,
like,
no, I know.
Yeah.
It's just funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Likely no. So in that little BBC special, Jim Chorley said, "I can understand why people would need to believe in the magic of it. I still believe in the magic of it as we're sat here right now. This is magical." As we walked into the crop circle and into the edge, because he was talking to the BBC, and those crop circles are still there. People go and visit them and stuff.
Cool.
So they like went to do that, and he's like a musician. He'd like written a song about them, so he's like playing the guitar and singing in the crop circle at one point. As we walked into the crop circle and into the edge, I just took one moment to remember my dad and think about him, and it brought a smile to my face. To look around and see people here enjoying it, it's a lovely thing to know that his legacy lives on.
That is really nice.
It's really nice.
That's really nice. To have done something that took the world by storm,
Yeah.
got everybody's attention, had people theorizing,
Yes, how fun.
and it endures to this day.
Right.
That's lovely.
I
And then
love
your
it.
Song shows up with a guitar and goes, crop circles.
It
in front of
is
a bunch
like
of
a
reporters.
crop circle-y song. I can't remember, but I was like, okay.
When you're in the crop, the fun don't stop.
Circle.
Crop circles. Thank you, me son.
He's a good boy, he is.
Well, there you go.
So that's it, you guys.
There it is, the story of crop circles.
That's
that
right.
would be a very lovely sort of like buddy comedy.
Yes, absolutely. I would love it if they made that. I don't know what caused the BBC to do this like little mini, probably just online story on September 7th of this month. But like, I would love if there was a little bit more heat on this crop circle story and the real people doing it in particular, because it's really such an interesting story.
It's wonderful.
Yeah,
that was really fascinating. There were parts of that story that were really exciting. I really, in particular.
Can you imagine somebody doing that well?
I know.
You know, it'd be so awesome.
Yeah. In particular, the idea of Bauer's wife confronting him.
Yes.
Do you know, like, did he then make that crop circle?
Yeah.
And she was now just in on the fun with them in a way?
I assume. There wasn't a lot of follow-up where it was like, and now she loves this. But he did the crop circle that she drew. And so she was like, it's real.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's
so
awesome.
If you make a movie about this, the two friends have the idea. They do it for, let's say, 3 weeks in a row. So early on, his wife confronts him.
Yeah.
And then when he makes it in the pattern that she did, she's watching it on TV and goes like, and looks over at him and he gives her a knowing look. And then you smash cut to the three of them making a crop circle together.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, the ball's in your court, Amblin Entertainment. Hire us to do a crop circles movie. We already have a song.
Yeah, we do. Crop circles. It's
the
really
fun
just
don't stop when you're bending a crop.
Hang on, what is it?
Crop circles.
It's the Hot Pocket song. Yeah.
Football cream. It's football cream. It's football cream.
What?
That's.
Is that from? What is that from?
It's from The Office.
Oh.
What's his face? Andy couldn't think of what.
Hot Pockets.
No.
Oh, Kit Kat. Yeah,
Kit
yeah,
Kats.
yeah.
Break me off a piece of that.
Yeah.
Football cream. I can't think of it. And Michael Scott's sick of it. He goes, "It's football cream. It's football cream. Let's move on." Football cream. All right, everybody.
All right, guys. Well, we will see you again next week. But until then, you can follow us on social media at GTTUpod everywhere. You can also join our secret Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/GTTUpod.
The secrets don't stop there. Hit up patreon.com/GTTUpod to back this show. Help us make cool stuff.
That's right.
You can back us at the mysterious benefactor level for a minimum of $1. Or you can become one of the Netherworld Warriors in the $4 tier. You can change that number to be whatever you would like it to be.
And some of you have, and we appreciate it so
Yes,
much.
Thank you very much, everybody. Another call to those of you who have not updated your tiers. Make sure that you do that if you want to get the exclusive stuff.
That's right.
Such as the Netherworld Dispatch, our Patreon exclusive show.
Yep, with new episodes coming out on the 15th of every month.
And some behind-the-scenes videos, after shows, gameplay things.
Yeah.
A bunch of stuff is already there, just waiting for you. You can also talk to Kristen or myself online to share maybe some of your thoughts about the show or ideas of things that you would love to see us do
absolutely.
on Patreon.
Yeah, so do that through the GTTU Pod social media. You can also email us at gttupod@gmail.com. But if you just want to pop into what we do in social media, I'm at Chillin' Kristen on Instagram and Twitter.
I'm at The Myth Traveler.
You can also leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or whatever app you use. It's super appreciated, as you know from the beginning of the show. So if we can keep that rating nice and tight, that would be awesome. So if you want to give us a 5-star review, we'd really appreciate it.
And you know what? Hot podcast tip. The podcast app that I use, because I do not have an iPhone, I have an Android phone, I use an app called Pocket Casts, which I think is the best podcast app that I have found that is not Apple Podcasts. And historically, it has cost money to do. They just made it free.
Oh, that's cool.
So if you're looking for a good podcast app, and I can vouch that this is an app where you can get the Netherworld Dispatch added and have it sit right next to Guide to the Unknown, so that you'll get your Patreon exclusive podcast right through your regular podcast app. Pocket Casts is the one to use.
Cool.
So definitely check that out.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go, everybody.
Yeah, that's
Thank
it.
you so much for hanging out with us. We hope you had a good time. We will see you next week for more spooky revelations from the world of mystery. But until that time comes, we must travel.
Back to the Netherworld go we. Bye.
That
Clear.
was a hell of a show.
I thought it was great. I thought it was a wonderful show. Michelle and I enjoyed the hell out of it. We also thought that crop circles probably showed up in the 1800s.
I thought you were losers. You stink. You're fired. You're fired.
That's my ultimate show of disrespect.
I'm firing you. You can't be my apprentice anymore.
Well,
People wanted
we were
to be
talking about that,
we were
right?
talking about
Yeah.
that.
Like, you want to win an apprenticeship? That's like kind of a low level.
Yeah. The only apprentice I'd want to be the wizard's apprentice.
Right.
That's about it.
You're gonna be like Donald Trump's personal assistant?
I don't know if that's what an apprentice.
I don't really think so either. But
you like
still,
learn at his heel.
Exactly. You're still like, it's still kind of a low level thing to win.
I like to microwave the bagel bites and then I
Yeah,
move
exactly.
them to the toaster for the final round to make them crispy.
Honestly, you just made him sound smarter than
Give
he
you some
is.
tips.
Because that's a good thing to do.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Bobby just replied and said, "You ain't never heard tell of a chat shop." That was an hour ago.
Maybe nobody was chatting. Maybe nobody was chatting.
No, there people are definitely chatting. Bobby, did you teleport to the end of the show to respond to us? What the hell was that?
Oh, soak and scrub his feet. Oh, God, I bet they're awful.
My toes, girl.
Actually,
Can you straighten my toes?
I bet they're not awful. I bet he gets like a pedicure like every week.
But they're like plump little sausages.
Yes, exactly. They're probably like soft and pink. Ugh.
Shining.
God,
Shining
you're
in the
shining.
night. Taylor said, still laughing at Will pocketing his credit card after we pointed it out. I saw someone write, like, Will's playing a dangerous game with his credit
You
card.
always are.
I know. I'll give you a
Yeah, they're
hint.
definitely orange, Taylor. Yeah.
One of the digits on my credit card. 3. Like
Followed by a 4, 5, 6, 7, 10.
a 10. 10. Strangely, there's a 10 in there.
God.
Yeah, we're sitting at a table covered in a velvet robe. Yeah, nobody can really see it, but Kristen and I put the cool...
Yeah, you can kind of see it.
We have, like, spider lace on top of a shiny thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I like it. You guys can't really see it. It's mostly for me at this point.
Yeah. Cool, guys.
Yeah, thank you all so much, everybody.
Yeah, thank you.
This
was great.
That was a lot of fun. I hope
Yeah.
that you enjoyed it.
Yeah, looks like you guys were chatting away. That's great.
I know. Look at that. People at one point were trying to figure out which of the two of us is the older sibling.
Oh, was there a guess, a consensus?
I don't know if there was a consensus, but I did see Mom weigh in and
Oh, okay.
reveal
Well, I
the
would say
truth.
Mom weighed in. I feel like she
Yes.
told it. Yeah.
Yeah. Here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, some people thought that I was...
Well, but Mom said 3 years apart. She didn't necessarily say who's older, right?
She
Did
said it earlier.
Oh, okay,
Chris
I
is
see.
my oldest. Will is my baby.
Yeah.
Diana thought that I was older.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I'm surprised there were any votes for you to be the older sibling.
Megan must have
Surprise.
intuited it.
I don't color my hair, so I've got gray hair and gray in my beard, and my hair is falling out, and I look like this.
I'm working on my natural color coming out, so I do have a bunch of gray that is visible now, but you still have more gray than me.
Oh, I've got so much more gray than you.
Yeah.
All right, everybody.
All right, guys.
Thank you so much for hanging out. That was a
Yeah,
lot of fun.
it was.
We really, really hope that you enjoyed yourselves.
Yeah.
And we really appreciate that you all come to chill with us when we do the show. every
Yeah,
week. So
absolutely.
thank
Thank
very
you.
much. Thank you again for joining us on an irregular evening at
Yeah.
an irregular time.
Yeah. I wonder if this time, I feel like there are more people here than usual. I
I
wonder
know,
if
this-
earlier is better.
This isn't bad. Yeah, if we did...
Is it okay with you?
Yeah, it was fine.
Okay.
If we did Wednesdays at 6 o'clock, I mean,
Yeah.
analysis, is this something that people would be interested in?
Yeah, because there are definitely more people here than usual, so I wonder if it's the 6 o'clock thing.
I don't know.
The ley lines thing, Mel, was like, I can't even remember enough to explain to you, like, why it's hard, but I know it's, I don't know, I guess just like a lot of geographical, obviously, stuff, and it was like, I don't know, it was weird. Huh, okay. Diana likes it better. Bobby can watch it if it's earlier.
Maybe we'll do some 6 o'clock stuff.
Oh, better
Taylor
for...
says our 6 is for 11. Bob says 6 is good. I
I'm
like 6.
all for earlier.
Yeah.
Let's start doing it at 6.
Let's start doing it at 6.
All right, great.
All right, starting next week, Wednesday
Cool.
at 6 o'clock.
Awesome.
Let's do some Guide to the Unknown.
That's great.
All right, everybody.
I'm peppier earlier in the day.
With that 1 hour difference is going to make you that much peppier.
Maybe
Remember that time
slightly.
that you ate like a candy bar and you were like, there's basically a countdown until I'm not
Yeah.
excited anymore.
Yeah, I had like a dark chocolate square.
That was really fun. Watch you fade.
Yeah, and I
Over the
did, I
course of
think,
time.
right?
Yeah, Bob, I like 6 too. 6 is great.
I do too. Wow, this makes me happy. All right, great.
Yeah. All right, cool, everybody. Next
Fab.
week, Wednesday, 6 o'clock. We'll see you there.
Cool.
All right,
All right,
bye,
guys.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Keep the energy
Forgot
up.
how to-
Keep the energy up. Keep the people have
Forgot
to be
how to
entertained.
wave.
Keep them entertained.
All right, I'm gonna wave like Will.